So in today's Lords of the Fallen video, we're going to take a look at some of the best upgrades that you definitely need to get. This is going to help you a ton if you want to upgrade your gear, but also there are some items in there that can make you become completely immortal for a short period of time. As always, a thumbs up on the video would be greatly appreciated, and let's dive right in with the first one. And that's going to be Blacksmith Gerlinde, which you can actually get quite early, but only if you pay attention to a certain adjacent route very close right here to the bell room. Now, normally she is just down this elevator. However, at first, this is going to be locked, and you normally have to just progress through the path, just do it the normal way up until upside, and from this point on you're going to have to make your way down. All of these locations are going to eventually bring you to that elevator that you can unlock from below. But once you do that and unlock that location and use the elevator, or just like go down the normal path, this is going to bring you to this location. And if you take a look down at the bottom, you're going to notice that there's a bunch of enemies guarding what's essentially a cage with a captive inside. So what you have to do is to just defeat these enemies, and specifically the captain right here, the enemy with the shield, as this is going to be the one that drops the prison key that will open the cell right in front of you. So what you have to do from this point on is to just give it to Gerlinde, and once you do that, you can simply head over back to Skyrest, and you're going to notice that now she is right here into the room onto the left side. So this unlocks blacksmithing. This is going to let you upgrade your equipment as well as purchasing crafting items from her, but it's going to be most important for upgrading your weapons. This is going to use special ores that you likely already found quite a bunch of until this point, and this is going to be the best way by far to increase the damage that you deal, especially since every upgrade will progressively increase the scaling of that weapon with the stats that it scales with. However, this is just the beginning of the things that Gerlinde can do for you, and there's even a longer quest line that I'm going to show you in just a bit, as well as a couple of outcomes that will heavily influence what you get at the end of them. But most important is going to be the fact that if you bring her some specific rune tablets, this will unlock rune slots for your weapons. So runes is something that she also sells, but they can also drop from specific and random enemies, and they can provide additional effects like better scaling, damage, on-death effects, so on and so forth. So the first one is going to be the chipped rune, quite the earliest which you can find after you progress in the hamlet, past that waypoint, past the bog area, of course, all the way into the Fitzroy's Gorge. And from this point on, you just have to follow the path as usual. There's no other path until like much later right here in this bigger cave. You will have to eventually pop into the Umbral realm to pass one of these collapsed bridges, but once you're on the other side, stop right here at this junction, and instead of going down, go to the right side. This was one of the paths I actually missed on my first playthrough, but if you go all the way down at the bottom on this side, you're going to find the first cracked tablet. Now the second is the chipped tablet, and you will find this in Carlot right here in the district area. This is pretty much towards the end once you defeat that oversized boss in one of these big arenas, but eventually you will reach this place. So essentially just make your way through the Ashen City at this point. So just progress through the path. Eventually there are going to be some annoying enemies, even this bigger one, but you're going to circle around him, and there's going to be an entrance into one of these almost collapsed houses. So this is a place you can just put down a vestige point and just have a save point just in case something happens. But from this point on, you can just open the door, progress inside of the building, and there's going to be a couple of enemies as well as a fireplace with the chipped tablet right inside of it. Take them down and immediately pick it off from inside the fireplace. This is now going to give you the chipped rune tablet. The third and final rune tablet is going to be a little bit later in the game, actually much later, towards the end in the Tower of Penance. You cannot miss this area if you just progress in the main story, and eventually you will reach this massive tower. What you will want to do at first anyway is to circle around until you reach this elevator location. Pull it off if it's not there already, and just make your way almost all the way at the top. It's going to bring you to the location, so you don't have to think too much about it. But once you are here, all you have to do is to just drop 2 levels down, as you will do anyway, up until the first level with the see-through floor, these grades of metal. But you will also see a bunch of enemies, and right inside of this room right here, there is one of these chests. Now, I already opened it in this video, but yeah, if you open this chest, this is going to give you that rune tablet. Now, you only need to bring one of these to unlock rune crafting or rune upgrading. So as soon as you bring the first cracked tablet to Gerlinde, this is going to open the possibility for you to go ahead and, yeah, just socket any runes into any weapons that support it. Again, I heavily encourage you to do so, and definitely look for ones that increase the scaling of the stat that you already invested most points into. So in my case, it would be this one because I'm using a lot of radiance, but basically every weapon will have different types of slots that fit different types of runes. Now, once you give the second one to her, this is going to progressively unlock additional items that she will sell, including, of course, runes that she will sell. So definitely do that too. Plus, it will provide you additional runes to your weapons as you progressively upgrade these on the way. But once you bring the third and final rune tablet, this is now going to give you an option. Either give it to Gerlinde or to Sparky. So both of these have different consequences and also different advantages. So if you start with Sparky, which in my opinion is the best outcome, this is going to immediately free him, but he's also going to be thankful, and as such will unlock a new power, which is basically the ability to use upgrade equipment and socketing runes from any vestige point. You no longer have to go to Gerlinde, you can do it from any one of these teleportation points. It's going to be right there. So it's the most convenient way of using this. That is why I fully recommend it. But the downside is that Gerlinde is going to now double her prices for everything that she sells. She's still going to offer her services, but everything in her inventory will cost double. So even the runes jump from 3.5 to 7,000 vigor. However, if you give it to Gerlinde, this is going to instead likely kill off Sparky, but this is also going to unlock a new rune, which is the Crafter's Essence. So if you slot this on any equipment, be it shield or weapon, it's going to completely reduce its weight to 0, meaning that you can more easily achieve very low weight limits. However, I don't really recommend and don't think that this is as great as it seems, since I really never had a problem with weight limits in this game. It's really not that bad, and if you invest some more points into that stamina, it's going to help you a ton with it anyway. Now, the next item you will want to unlock is your Umbral lamp. This is not just going to provide you additional sockets you can place those eyes in, but many of these eyes actually have very strong primary and secondary abilities, including one I'm going to show you that can provide you complete immunity for 8 seconds. So yeah, in order to get these and upgrade your Umbral lamp, you're going to want to grab some chisels. There are 3 chisels in the entire game that you can find, some from early, and one of them is a little bit later in the game. Also, you will need to buy the Pilgrim's Perch key from Stonemoonbag at Skyrest, as this is also the way to unlock the areas and progress in the game anyway, which are also the ones that will hold these items. So for the first one, you're going to want to head over to the windmill. This is one of the early on teleportation points to unlock back at the village, and instead of going the normal path, go behind, basically in the back, at this bell door that you can open, which will lead to the frozen area. Just progress the normal way all the way until the lake zone. This is going to now have you fight with a frozen guardian, so take that enemy down as well as anybody inside, and you're going to want to eventually pop off into the Umbral realm. This is where you will spot that there's one of these statues that you can rip off, and this is going to give you the first chisel. The second chisel is going to be located very close to Kalrath, actually at the L House waypoint. So this is going to be right around after the first fiery boss, so around in the middle of the city where stuff is still burning. So from inside this house, you're going to jump down right here, and you're going to aim for this gap in the wall and then go to the street level. There are going to be some mines over here, so just be careful about that. From this point on, simply follow the path. You can't mess this up. There are going to be some ranged enemies here that you want to take down. Once you do that, simply head to the right inside of this kind of like city center, I guess, or whatever it is. There's going to be a bunch of burning trees with the one in the middle, but you're again going to want to take down enemies, as this is going to give you enough room to rip that chisel out of this statue right here next to the burning tree. So this is going to be the second one. Now, the third and final chisel is going to be located towards the end of the game, right here at the Leprosarium. So it's going to be in around the same area with the Tower of Penance right before that, in fact. So from inside this waypoint, which is one of the primary you reach, you're going to want to make your way back into the courtyard, defeat any enemy in here, and grab the kitchen key, as this is going to let you open this door to reach into the kitchen. Now, there are going to be some enemies in here that you will have to deal with, but yeah, do pop in the Umbral realm, as it's going to be needed for the next part. What we're going to do in this location is to drag this platform down so that we can access the other side. Let's do that. Again, clear out any enemies, but keep it to the left. There are going to be some boxes you can destroy here, which will reveal a path on the outer balcony. From this point on, we're just gonna traverse the normal way. Again, activate any platforms to reach any of these ladders that will bring you all the way at the rooftop. Once you are on the rooftop, simply traverse it onto the opposite side. This is going to bring you to a final platform that you need to traverse, which is going to bring you right inside of this I believe church location. So there are some ranged enemies here that you again have to deal with, but you will spot that, yeah, there's one of these statues again that if you rip, it's going to give you the third and final chisel. So once you unlock these, you don't have to like just wait for the 3 of them to be acquired. You can just do it one by one once you acquire them. But every single one will progressively unlock new sockets, new secondary sockets actually, for your Umbral lamp. And this is going to be helpful both because you gain some new advantages from the eye items that you get, but also for the fact that you gain an achievement for completing this. Now, in terms of the strongest item that you will definitely want to place in the primary slot, that's going to be the Umbral Eye of the Hooded Antuli. So this is something that you find in the same location as Fitzroy Armor. So again, back at the Fitzroy's Gorge, back at that big tower I was talking about in the massive courtyard. Just make your way inside of this and go one level up. You're going to have a upper balcony with one of these death enemies. Simply take it down or ignore it and rip that item from this statue in the back. This is now going to give you the primary ability if you place it in the primary slot, which is giving you 8 seconds of complete immortality after you switched to the Umbral realm. So this works both if you do it manually on your own, but also if you get killed and immediately traverse to the other side. This can help a ton against bosses, for example. It can give you those 8 seconds of complete immunity, which means you can face tank them, immediately burn them, take them down really easily. It's going to just trivialize the game for you how good this item is. Anyway, that's pretty much it with the video. Thanks much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.